Okay, everybody, we're going to take a look at the backpack, a little bit of the exterior, and then I'll pop it open and show you some of the interior. Starting with the exterior and the carry side. So here's the straps. They are pretty well padded. I'm 6'5", about 240 pounds, and they're actually relatively comfortable. I would say they have kind of a form of a plastic interior liner. That would be my guess. It's flexible, but it's rigid enough to give a little bit of form, and it helps keep the padding put where it ought to be. It does have some breathability on the inside, and you can see there's some pass-through stitching. So one of the first things I do to observe a bag is see what the stitching quality is, because if they slacked on the stitching, the bag, no matter what the design, is probably not worth much. So the stitching actually looks to be pretty good to very good. More than I expected, actually, for a bag of this price point. More on the interior, of course, there's some of that breathable, padded, I would say it's about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch pad on the inside. Loading this bag up with about 15 to 20 pounds, it's still comfortable, and you're going to get more uniformity with that padding on the waist strap. Not the front so much, because you don't really want it there. You just want it on the sides. And then you have your cinch strap up front with double cinches. And I think this would fit up to a pretty large size person, down to probably my child size. The actual bottom to top, again, for being 6'5", it's a touch small for me. I think most of the population who's under 6 feet, you're going to do just fine with this bag. If you're over 6 foot, this is just a slight bit short for you, but it hasn't been too inconvenient for me in carrying. It just has to do with the way that the pack actually cinches up to your body. Part of that is going to depend on your body type as well. On the, go ahead and open this up so I can show you. On the interior, you do have a pocket. It's a pretty good sized pocket to throw in some granola bars, some trail mix, or possibly a phone if you have a slightly smaller phone. I think most of the older iPhones would actually fit inside these pockets. I choose to carry some of my camera gear or a backup charger on the inside. 2 of them, uniform, decent zippers, not the highest quality zippers I've ever used, but they're pretty decent, and they all have pull tabs on them. Your cinch straps are for load-bearing cinch, so you can actually adjust this a little bit more custom, and I found that the sewing on the interior seems decent again. I would say it's above what I expected at the price point. You do have a carry handle. It's not padded, but doesn't need to be. It's just a carry handle for moving the bag around. On the side of the bag, there is a pretty large size pocket. It would fit your 32-ounce Nalgene, and you do have straps in 2 locations. So if you need to throw a tripod or a monopod through here, it would be easy to do. Sometimes I do a little bit of shock cord around things like this, so that when the shock cord goes through, I can really cinch down a monopod, a bipod, maybe a very lightweight rifle or something to that effect. These do have drainage, and I would say the stretch is pretty significant. Seems like a decent design overall for water bottles, and most things that I would put in here, I think I would trust to stay inside. Something unique about the left side is that you do have a top-down zipper, which shows you interior access. You can see that I actually have a piece of cardboard in here, an old Target. Sometimes that gives extra shape or form if you're not carrying much, and on this hike I'm not carrying a lot, so I just carry a little lightweight piece of cardboard in there, which is something that gives a little frame rigidity, and also just for demonstration purposes makes sense. But it's a large size access pocket, so if you didn't want to have to unzip the top and you had somebody on the side, you can reach in here and grab something relatively easy. The covers for the zippers are a nice thought as well. All the zippers have a little home where they can slide into, and just kind of keeps water from beating up in certain spots or leaking in, and it runs down. It's been raining today, and I was able to keep everything inside my backpack relatively dry. On top, this is your very first pocket. I've got a pair of Vanguard binoculars inside. I always like to take a pair of those with me, and I have an inflatable climate cushion. These are, you can laugh at me, but these are actually super convenient, especially if you have kids. Inside the pouch, there's a zippered pocket, and then mesh. It's breathable, and it actually does have pass-through into your main compartment as far as that mesh is concerned. And so you can kind of see in there. It's just something to think about if you did have something spill in here, that it would pour into your main pouch. So just be thoughtful about that. But it's a pretty generous size, and I find that most of the things that I have, and I'm going to carry and I need quick access to, actually fit in there pretty well. Next one down is where I store some of my EDC gear and things I don't want in my pockets. So there is a retention clip for my keys, my wallet. I have a snack in there, a lighter, and a flashlight, and usually a folding knife of some sort comes in the other side. And this one happens to be a real old, like turn of the century folding knife, double knife. I like to have something like that in an easy to access pouch. Sometimes emergency gear or an IFAK of some sort will be in that pouch as well. You see there's MOLLE, two different kinds of MOLLE. You have Velcro, so you can put on something hook and loop on this side, and you have these exterior loops. So if you have carabiners, and I always have a carabiner around for something, you can always throw a carabiner on there, which is really convenient when I use this as a range bag and I want to have my rear support bag, which is a lightweight bag. I can throw that on here and it just hangs off the back. So pretty convenient. Also have hook and loop up here on the big broad logo. You have another exterior pouch right here, which would be good for maps. And one more. I have a life straw, a marker, a pen, and sometimes an ID. These pouches are very convenient. There's lots of storage and options to change things around and just have it be organized instead of trying to cram it all in one large size pouch or having to bring additional pouches with you. The backpack has enough storage and actually compartments to set up a backpack relatively well for longer hikes and more complicated deals. You have a couple of straps. There's actually 4 inside this bag to strap things down or together and just keep it from moving around on you if you're moving at a rapid pace. Let's move into the main pouch now. I'm going to undo these side clips, and I'll undo all of them. Oops. That's one reason I like to keep it on the string, is I accidentally closed it up. Didn't realize I closed it up outside the bag, but it was attached, so that's one retainer. This is a mostly full zip. Like I said, the zippers are decent on this bag. Not quite as smooth as some out there, but at the price point, I actually think they're decent. And inside, a couple really cool things. First, I'll take you through this. This is the pass-through I was talking about from the most exterior pouch. Then you have a smaller size pouch, which is kind of like where I would put my toothbrush, toothpaste, that sort of thing if I'm doing overnights. I have a small silky saw inside that pouch right now. And the last compartment, which is also breathable, has that same material, is a great place to store my camera and my microphone. Just keep it from getting wrecked. Underneath that, I do have an IFAK that's in the bag. I have a full-size IFAK with me for this trip. And I have this piece of emergency gear. It's a flashlight, it's a radio, it's solar charging, it has a number of different uses, and it's actually pretty cool. Hand crank on the back, so it fits that. I have some diapers because I have a little one with me. And a meat stick inside, so quite a bit of space. Actually, as far as volume goes, I was surprised when I read the volume online. I feel like I can fit a lot more than I thought I could. And here is going to be the last piece I'm going to talk about. You have 2 interior slots, which would be really convenient for another water bottle or a large size item that you want to keep separate from everything else. Both sides, I think it's a great design. It's a very good idea for, again, compartmentalizing and keeping it comfortable for not having just one main pouch, but several places where you can place things and keep it organized. Your laptop pouch is slightly padded. I don't know how many mils thick that is. It might be about 4 or 5 mils thick, somewhere in that neighborhood. But it's sufficient for my laptops, and it actually would fit my full-size laptop. So this is a pretty generous size pocket. And if you're doing an iPad with that or you have a charger, there's an additional pouch up here. And one more time, you have a retention bit. And I've actually stuck a holster on this before. With a Velcro holster, you can set this up to be able to reach inside your backpack and grab that if that's something that you would so choose. And because you have a side zip option, you can actually orient it so when you side zip the backpack on this side, you can reach inside and grab either something in the main compartment, or you can rip open the top and rip it down and grab something right here. There is an elastic strap here, and you do have, let's see, you do have a pass-through because of the zipper, so you could run like a hydration bladder inside this as well. So this has been a very brief review, but I can recommend the bag at the price point, as long as you understand that it's slightly thinner material than you're going to get with a $200 or $300 bag. Some of the features and the sewing are not going to be up to those $300 price points, but if you're using something more casually or on the weekends as a car bag, as I'm going to with this particular bag, it's going to replace my other car bag because it's actually higher quality, more functional, and I like the design better. It's a little more comfortable as well. If you're okay with some of those slight drawbacks, I actually think it's a decent bag. My one recommendation to Urban Braver or whatever, I don't know if it's Braver or Braver, but if they would just reduce the footprint on this a little bit, I think it's pretty big and stand out. Sometimes people just want a black bag. That would be my one recommendation, or make this a Velcro piece that can come off. The branding is a little bit intense. I do like the bag. I do recommend it at the price point, as long as you know what you're getting into and you understand that this bag's volume sometimes requires to either have a little piece of cardboard in the back to keep it really rigid, or just enough inside so it doesn't get floppy or frumpy. And it's not going to be exactly for probably above 6'5" individuals. It's not going to be as comfortable, but if you can put up with some of that, actually it's pretty good. And for a 6'5" individual that's doing this video right now, I actually think I will keep it. It's comfortable enough for me, it fits well enough, and I'm not going to complain about that. If you guys liked this video, you thought it was useful, maybe you would appreciate some of these other videos. So go ahead and like, share, subscribe, maybe watch one of these if you thought this one is interesting.